Okay, so an important notice real quick before we start the video. This will not be footage of Assassin's Creed Origins. It will be of the middle. It will be Middle Earth: Shadow of War. I tried to record on the Xbox. I actually made the video, did the audio, did everything, sent out the video, tried to upload it, would not work. Did it again, did not work. So I decided to transition to the PlayStation 4, and so thus I am now here. So I'm sorry that you won't be getting footage of Assassin's Creed Origins. I really did try, but after 2 or 3 hours of it to try to make 30-minute video, it gets annoying. So I hope you guys enjoy, and I hope you guys understand. Okay, with this out of the way now, we can begin the review. As always, remember guys, there are going to be spoilers in this game, so expect it. Spoilers. 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 Okay, so we're immediately going to start with the pros of the game. Massive map. Huge. It's, in my opinion, the biggest map they've ever done. I don't count AC4. You can say all you want that Assassin's Creed 4 is bigger, but when about 75% of the game is open ocean and nothing else, then sure. But this is actually a big map full of just stuff, and I enjoy that because there's just so much stuff, right? Which is a good and a bad thing, and we'll get to that later on. But it's a big map, and I enjoy it, and I'm glad there's actually stuff in it, and it's not just open world, or just empty land, because that was the problem when I played Mad Max. When I played Mad Max, it was a good big map, but just empty land, so not that good. It felt good with a new story. It was kind of fresh to skip the whole traditional areas we've seen and gone to ancient Egypt, So that was nice to go there. The combat is new-ish to an extent. It's challenging. It's a lot of fun. I say new-ish because it's, new, and I use air quotes and redefined, and I'm using air quotes again. But at the end of the day, is it? Like, when I played the game, it felt very, very kind of similar, and it's like, it's not that much different when I feel like I'm still playing an Assassin's Creed game. However, it did put the emphasis on stealth, which is one of my two favorite parts about this game. It's wonderful to see that this is still an Assassin's Creed game where we're gonna make you feel like you have to worry more about the stealth aspect now because you are an assassin, and that's really cool because the combat's new to a point where it kind of punishes you if you're not stealthy, and that there's a possibility you get overrun with that. You can get overrun with enemies. So it was nice to see that they added that, and I like the emphasis on the stealth. The story was decent enough. What I mean by that is it's very Assassin's Creed typical. It's not like anything, because I know earlier I said it was new to have it was nice to have a fresh storyline, but at the same time it's a very typical Assassin's Creed story. It's a new topic and a new genre we're talking about, a new time period we're looking at, but it still plays, and there's a lot of similarities between the Assassin's Creed games then and Assassin's Creed games now, where I could easily predict some things, and again, I'll get to that later. But so the story was decent enough. It was fun. I beat the story. God, I couldn't tell you how long it took me to play it because I played as soon as I discovered a region, I had to clear out that region. So that was my perfectionist in me doing that. So it was nice to see the part with Caesar too at the very end. Just see how that's how you like the whole part where Brutus is assassinating Caesar. It was nice to see that Aya was a part of that. It's kind of nice to see how that went on and how that happened. The graphics are nice, again, very, very Assassin's Creed, very Ubisoft. So it wasn't like it was anything new. It wasn't too out there where it was like ugly, but it wasn't, by any means, perfect. But graphics were good. I had no complaints. I'm not typically a graphics guy though, so. The cursed weapons, and this is a two-parter because this is good and bad. The cursed weapons are very balanced, where you have only one of your three heart blocks available, and the weapons are a lot better than normal weapons, and it's awesome. I love that it puts that little bit of challenge if you want to use the cursed weapons. Alright, well, if you use these, it's going to be hard, but if you don't use these, you have your health. So I like that. I like the crafting to upgrade your armor and stuff like that. I enjoyed that a lot. I enjoyed the hunting and having to go and actually get the supplies and the raids, especially too, where when you raided somebody, or not somebody, but you raided a caravan to get the materials needed to upgrade. I like that. I also like the perk system and leveling up. I like that you don't just get given everything at once. I like that they decided, okay, here, you have to work your way up, because it really makes the game challenging at first. And once you start progressing and leveling up more, it feels like you're actually doing something. So it felt like it wasn't just like I'm a god immediately. It's all right, I have all my stuff now, and it makes the game easier to an extent because you have your perks, but it also makes it like I've earned all of this. I didn't get it just given to me. I liked that. The last topic I want to say, and this is my second favorite thing about the game, is Bayek. He is probably one of my favorite assassins. I played 2, Brotherhood, Revelations, 3, 4, Unity, and now Origins. I didn't play Syndicate. I didn't play Syndicate, but I know I've watched the series. So, and I watched Rogue. What can I say is he's one of my favorite assassins next to Arno. Bayek's character felt very human for once from an Assassin's Creed game. You know, typically we get the assassin who's just this badass and he's determined, he has his goals and everything, but Bayek felt human. What I mean by that is, you know, everyone seems okay with a lot of killing in Assassin's Creed. Like, you can't just go around and kill people though in a society. So it felt nice, you know, you had that aspect where people like Aya are so determined and so driven, and the people around her are ready to kill people, and you see Bayek kind of just like trying to, he doesn't want to do this the rest of his life, which you can tell as the game progresses on. He doesn't want to be out for vengeance his whole life. He wants to be able to settle down and have a normal life again. He wants to be able to do everything he used to do before his son died, and you can really tell that he's pushing to find an end eventually. And I like that because you can kind of tell he's kind of sick of the killing, and he doesn't want to lose his humanity in itself. So it's nice to see that side of a human where it makes it very personal in an extent. Like I didn't want anything. I wanted it to end for him. I really did. So that is hands down probably one of 2 of my favorite parts. The first, like another being the stealth aspect. But besides the mechanic, that was my favorite part about the whole game, is Bayek's character and personality. Now, the cons. Okay, for a reboot, you know, they claimed that this is all gonna be brand new. We're building this from the ground up. Was it all new? It felt very similar. The parkour, the mechanics, the graphics, the way the game played was just so similar. It felt very, very Assassin's Creed. And, you know, that's not a bad thing either. I mean, but, you know, when I kept hearing things like, we're doing this brand new, it's all new stuff, you know, nothing's going to be the same, I expected nothing to be the same, and it felt very similar. So I wasn't too impressed, and I was kind of sad by the whole aspect that they just kind of went, well, this is a brand new game, but we're going to use a lot of stuff from the older games. And it's like, okay, well, you said it was going to be brand new, and it isn't. So that bugged me. The combat mechanics are very clunky. It takes a lot of getting used to. And I mean a lot. I couldn't tell you. Just, it takes a lot of getting used to. It took me about 4 or 5 hours to get used to the gameplay mechanics and the weapons, the combat. There you go. Sorry, I was like drawing a blank there. So yeah, I mean, overall, I mean, I got used to it, but I didn't like how that was just so clunky, and it felt very stiff in some parts, and it just felt very out of the ordinary for a lot of parts. Another thing that made me mad: why did you change the dodge button from A to X? So unnecessary, and it really fucked with me. Really, really fucked with me. But it's regardless. Okay, so now going back to this note, predictable. The game is very predictable. I really could really see where this game was going by less than halfway in. I probably could say 50% of it. I could tell was gonna happen. I knew it, like probably about 50% in when with the Cleopatra thing. I knew Aya and Bayek were not gonna be together. I knew that whole aspect was going. I could tell that Cleopatra was gonna betray him. So that was very predictable as well. It was too predictable at the point where it's like, wow, I mean, I've played enough Assassin's Creed to realize that this is going to happen, and this is going to happen, and this is going to happen. Oh my god, I know this is happening. And that was very annoying. There wasn't too many things that shocked me in the game, and there was not a lot of plot twists that really, really got me, so I don't really have much to say on that. Another thing that made me mad, you know, that map was huge, right? But it's full of the same shit. So you got a big ass map with the same stuff, and it's like it's a majority of it is the same three things. Go here, clear this. Go here, loot that. Go here, hunt these. And it's like at one point it's just like, oh my god, I don't want to do this anymore. And me having my perfectionist attitude, going in and discovering a region. Alright, I gotta clear this region out. And I would spend anywhere from 1 to 5 hours just doing one region. And it's like, oh my god, I don't want to do this anymore. And it gets to the point where you hate, I started to hate the game. I really did start to hate the game at that point when I was doing that. So that's very upsetting. Very upsetting. Weapon variety, the weapon perks were very limited in variety. You had the like the bleeding damage, you had the fire, you had the extra critical boost, crit damage boost, you had the poison. Oh, that's kind of it. It's just like, okay, well, there's nothing else. Sorry, like, but it's like, all right, well, it could have been a little bit more. I feel like that could have been drawn out. Going on to the curse part, where the second part of the curse. Why is it bad? It made me never want to use any other weapon ever. Once I got those cursed weapons, they were so good. I just kept leveling up and leveling them up, and I didn't have to use any other weapon. And all those weapons you gather from from looting and all that stuff, they might be better, but you could just sell all of those weapons and then have enough to upgrade your weapon. So your weapon would be already better if you upgraded it. So it was like I had no reason to use any other weapon but these legendary weapons, and that kind of like it kind of drowns out like, well, this weapon could be better, but I could just sell this and upgrade this weapon and it still is just as good. And you know, it kind of limits the amount of variety in terms of what kind of weapons you use. I was a fan of the spear, but I never saw myself using the spear as much because I had a really good Kopesh, so that's all I was gonna use. And I had really good warrior and light bows, but I didn't use them because I had a really good predator and hunter bow. So now, kind of going back a little bit, backpedaling a little bit to the map aspect, it got really boring doing that same stuff and replayability. The repetition. The repetition really got boring, and it got old quick, very, very quick. Like after you do it in like 2 regions, 3 regions, at one point you're just like, fuck this. I don't want to go to any other region because I don't want to have to deal with that bullshit. That's how I felt, and it got really tedious and really boring. So I just that was bad. Cut the modern day crap, please. Oh my god, I hate the modern day crap. They kind of fixed it a little bit so you didn't have to do much of modern day stuff. Like as soon as you got to the present, you could just go right back in the Animus and you're good. But holy shit, just cut the modern day crap. Just really cut it. That's what I mean. It also comes down to, this is a reboot of the franchise, and they're building everything from the ground up. Okay, leave the future stuff out. Who cares? Who freaking cares? I really don't. And I don't know if I'm the majority or in the minority about this, but holy shit, screw the present day stuff, please. The rant's over. Okay. Now the last thing, and the worst probably con of them all. There's no replayability. Story's the same. You don't have to do it. I beat the game last weekend. I think it was actually it might have been a Thursday or a Friday when I beat it. It's currently Friday now. I have not picked up the game since until today when I tried to record it on my Xbox One and got the video done, and I made the video and then it didn't work, and then I got very frustrated. I got really mad, and then I left to go play some hockey. But it has no replayability. I have no interest in going in and clearing out the rest of the regions. I have no interest in doing that at all. I don't really care. I could care less if I had to do that or not. Maybe if I was on the PlayStation 4 and I would try to platinum it, but I know I would lose my freaking mind if I did that. So there's just too much. And at this point, there's not enough replayability. There's nothing else that's trying to bring me back to that game to play it. And even if it did have a multiplayer, which I don't think it does, I hate the multiplayer of Assassin's Creed. Assassin's Creed is not a multiplayer game in my opinion. I don't like the multiplayer. I did it in Assassin's Creed 3, and I did it in, I think it was Revelations when they added it. I don't remember, but didn't like it. Never was a fan of Assassin's Creed multiplayer, so there's nothing bringing me back to that game to play that game at all. Just too much. But other than that, I had a point in mind, and I'm drawing a blank. Really, just overall, the game itself would just felt. Oh, okay. Yes, I remember now. Sorry. It doesn't know how to. It didn't know how to end. It didn't know how to end. Oh my god. There's probably like 3 different places that game could have ended, and it chose not to end. It just decided to keep going. It was watching the end. It's like watching the end of The Lord of the Rings, Return of the King, and the ending takes 45 minutes. It just felt like that. And it's like, okay, you can end now. Okay, you can end now. Okay, you can end now. There were probably 3 parts of that game where it could end, and I would have been like, I'm good. I'm great. That's a great ending. I'm good. And it just kept going. I'm just like, oh my god, like when's this game gonna end? And then it ended, and I was really disappointed with the ending. I was like, of course you gotta end it very, very Assassin's Creed. And it's cool how they kind of tied everything together, like they showed how the symbol was made, the assassin symbol was made, and everything like that. But it's like, just end, please, end. Like, you don't have to do this. Like, you could have done this in a cutscene. Like, you could have shown Aya being responsible for helping kill Julius Caesar in a cutscene. That'd been cool. But no, you just didn't know how to end. And it's like, I didn't even care to be stealthy when I was at the Aya portion. I just wanted to get it done. I didn't care. And it was just like, oh my god, I don't want to do this anymore. I'm done with the game. But it just didn't want to end. And that was also pretty bad. Overall, and I might be, again, in the minority of this. This is a very typical Assassin's Creed game for me. This felt very Assassin's Creed-like. So, I'm going to have to give it a 7.5 out of 10. You know, and this isn't any personal bias to the franchise. This is my honest opinion. I mean, just for a reboot, it felt very typical Assassin's Creed. It wasn't anything special for me. You know, I've heard from people that have played the series for just as long as me that this is a great game. It's a fantastic game. But I'm doing this as a review, and this is my honest opinion of the game. There are a lot of flaws. There are a lot of cons. There are a lot of flaws. There are a lot of pros. You know, but just, I feel like some of the cons can outweigh the pros in a stance. You know, you got this massive map, but it's full of the same stuff. You know what I mean? You have this new combat system, you have these new game mechanics, but they're very clunky. You know, and it's nice to see this aspect with Caesar, but it really didn't need to be playable. It could have been a cutscene. It drew out the game longer than it could have been. I mean, it was nice to have a fresh new story, but it was very typical Assassin's Creed. You know, and there were two instances where I had like a good and a bad for certain things. So, I mean, overall, I mean, the game was very average in my opinion. It wasn't anything huge. So I mean, going off of that, I mean, it's not a bad game at all. By any means, it is not a bad game. I had fun with it. I had fun with the story. I had a lot of fun. I just overall, it's not, you know, something memorable. I mean, it didn't have a great ending like the games that I've had great endings with. The Last of Us, Uncharted 4, The Witcher 3, sorry. The Shadow of War. I had very good endings and I was satisfied. I didn't need any more. I really, really didn't. I could go with that. I didn't need any more games of that sort or with those characters. I was good. I was content. It wasn't like that in Assassin's Creed Origins. It felt like, alright, we're about to restart a franchise. And it's like, I've already been through this. I don't need any more of this. Give me something I can, you know, delve into. And I guess it's also switch regions is my advice. Switch regions. You know, we keep going to new places and all that kind of stuff. And, you know, we went to, I guess we could start at the beginning. You had Assassin's Creed 1, which I never played, which was in the Crusader states, which is in, like, modern day Palestine and Israel. You have that. And then you have 2, which is in, I think 2 is in, I'm not sure if it's in Rome or it's in Italy. I know it's in Italy, sorry. I know it's in Italy. I don't know if it's in Rome, Venice, or Florence. Don't know that. But I know it's in Italy. And then Brotherhood, I know Brotherhood's in Rome. Revelations, you go to Constantinople or Istanbul, modern day, and that is in Turkey. And then you get the 3, and then you go to the Americas, which is really fresh, because finally stepped away from Europe, and I liked that. 4. Didn't like 4, hated the open ocean crap, sorry if you feel differently. Hated the open ocean crap. It was just it was a good pirate game, not a great Assassin's Creed game by any means. And that is my opinion, and I'm sticking to it. If you want to know why, feel free to comment, and I'll tell you why. Overall, and then Rogue I didn't play, which I'm pretty sure stays in the mid-Atlantic to the Caribbean, I'm not sure. Unity, you go to France. And then Syndicate, you go to England. And then here you go to ancient Egypt. Leave the Mediterranean, leave Europe, go to China, go to somewhere in Asia, like go to Japan, just go somewhere outside of Europe in the Mediterranean Sea area, like you did with 3 and 4 and Rogue. Leave that area and go somewhere else. Like, that's all I can say, because it just sometimes that just drags on, like the same area. It's typically the same area, and especially with ancient Egypt, you still had a lot of Roman influence, still had a lot of Greek influence. I mean, which is true, you did, but you know, it's again drawing back on the older games. It's like, okay, well, we've already seen this kind of stuff, so it's like, when are we gonna get something new? You know, the Assassins and Templars spread worldwide. Why haven't we gone worldwide? Is my theory, but that's why I have a 7.5 out of 10. I mean, that isn't a bad score. I mean, it's very average, I would say, and it's not like I consider this a bad game. I did have a lot of fun playing it. But do you agree or disagree with my reviews and my pros and cons? I want to talk about it in the comments if you feel free, and I'll gladly share my thoughts with you. But yeah, I mean, that was Assassin's Creed Origins, and I want to apologize. I did at the beginning of the video. The Xbox One really would not just let me record off Assassin's Creed, which I did, and it was recorded, and I tried to upload it. Error. I was like, alright, try to re-upload it. error. Okay, remade the video, error. And I was like, oh my god, okay, well, screw this. And then I just got too frustrated with it, decided to scrap it and just move to the PlayStation 4 because it's very easier. It's very easier. It's a lot easier to work with. So I'm sorry again that there is no gameplay footage of Assassin's Creed Origins. I really did try. It did not want to work for me. So it's also putting a damper on me trying to do to do gameplays with the Xbox One. So if that gets better, who knows? I might use the Xbox One again, but overall, expect walkthroughs and most gameplays being on the PlayStation 4 until otherwise. So, if you guys enjoyed this video, please give this a like. And as always, if you want more content, I put out videos mostly every day. I think the only day I'm not going to be doing is either, I'm still debating on the Saturday, but I should be doing every day but Saturday, or every day but Sunday. And I don't know about the Saturday yet, because the Saturday I'm going to be putting out gameplays, just things I'm playing, so I don't know if I'll be doing that exactly yet. I have stuff for it now, so I'll do that now, but I don't know if I'll continue with that. So, I'll see you guys around. I hope you enjoyed this video. Feel free to leave your thoughts in the comments. I will gladly discuss them with you, and I'll see you guys around. Peace.